Welcome to Swish and Flick, an all Potter podcast.
Swish and flick. Everyone? Swish and flick.
Hello and welcome to episode 146 of Swish and Flick. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Megan.
I'm Katie.
I'm a name I don't know.
You gotta start
Artist formerly known as Sasa.
Oh, okay, there you go. And this episode is sponsored by Christine Opry. Either way, thank you.
Thank you.
Today we will be discussing the first half of chapter 16 of Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix in the Hogshead. So make sure that you have read that chapter and you're ready to, I didn't put a verb in, your way through the details. Quick, give me a verb, Discord.
Scuttle. Oh, I like that.
Scuttle.
Okay. All right. So I hope you're ready to scuttle your way through the details. So before we begin, we have some weekly profit news, and it's not that exciting. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry everybody in advance. So we have been waiting for news from LeakyCon about their plans for what is going to be happening in July. And I understand why they haven't announced anything yet. This is no ill will towards them in any way. I was so excited for LeakyCon. I hope to go next year, but Swish and Flick will not be attending either LeakyCon this year. It just isn't feasible. It's not safe. None of us feel comfortable being in a big crowd like that in a building. Tiffany also just can't be away and go out of state and come back with her job, and it just isn't going to work. So unfortunately, we're not going to be attending. We're super sad about it.
Yeah. This crushed my dream of going to a Denver Broncos home game as well.
I hope that they do Denver again next year.
Sasa and I were going to go, and it was going to be great.
But, when things are safe and things are starting to get back to whatever the new normal is going to be, we definitely will do a meetup in Orlando sometime for sure. We want to go back to the Wizarding World. 1,000%.
I cannot wait. I can't wait. So
that'll probably happen next year, but we're super excited about that and just going to be looking forward to when things are safe again. So
yeah, hopefully maybe when we do Orlando again, maybe we can tell people with enough time where we can really get a big group of people to do a meetup at the Wizarding World.
Do a live podcast.
That'd be fun.
I probably shouldn't just blurt out all these ideas in front of everybody on the podcast before talking to you guys about it. But
it's just an
I don't
idea.
know, maybe we could look into doing something like that. It would be super fun. So
it would be. It really would be. I just want to eat butterbeer ice cream in Diagon Alley and people watch. This is what I want to do.
Right?
I know. Me too. I just want to walk around. I just want to feel the feels, hear the music.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So sad weekly profit.
Yes.
Weekly profit.
Yeah. But an important one nonetheless.
Yep.
Yeah. Look at me. Stop yawning.
I'm good.
I saw that.
You didn't see anything. You didn't see anything.
The cap, re.
Well, actually, that's not what it'd be backwards. That would just be the two things.
All right, well,
reversed.
say it for me then.
It would be
pack.
Pack.
If you took the whole thing like Tiffany says it backwards, it would actually just be pack.
True.
But it also sounds like you're a Packers fan, which are you?
I like the Packers.
Get out! What? I like the Packers.
Sports ball. Okay.
All right.
Recap.
It's time for the recap. If you didn't know what was going on.
All right. Last time, Harry had detention. Sound familiar? McGonagall was furious. She took points away. Also sounds familiar. But then she's totally Bob's apron when Umbridge comes to inspect her class. Umbridge also inspects care of magical creatures. She tries to dig up some dirt. Oh, and surprise of the century, Harry gets some more detention. Hermione is over it and decides it's time that they start taking their defense against the dark arts education into their own hands, but Harry had some words and some feelings and some thoughts and some screams and yells.
Just like a human being would do.
Huh.
So yeah, again, I'm going to summarize this half of the chapter. I know that's unusual for me to do, but just trying to live and let live.
We like to change things up a bit here.
I don't think that's the quote. I think it's live and let die. Is that it true? I don't know.
Live and let
Anyway.
die. Bow, bow.
It's a great part of Shrek 2.
Live and let die.
Also a very iconic song.
So the
But
trio
more
has,
importantly about Shrek. Sorry, go ahead. I'm just kidding.
Scottish.
I think that's our next podcast is we're going to talk all about Shrek.
I like it.
I love
Let's
it.
talk about Shrek, baby. Let's talk about ogres.
Let's talk about all the things and all the stuff that they do. Anyways, the trio has more conversations about Harry teaching them defense, and so he finally kind of seems on board. And Hermione already has a plan for all like the meetings and like what's going to happen. And it's during the Hogsmeade weekend. Is that right? Hogsmeade. What did I say?
Yes. I don't know, but
I don't think I did.
It sounded weird, but I don't know.
Like hogweeds. Like I was mixing Hogweed and Hogwarts together.
Sounds like you need to clean up your yard.
Probably. So as the weekend of the Hogsmeade approaches, they talk about Sirius and like how he's silent, and we all know how that feels being cooped up in a house for months. So yeah. And the trio, they head to the Hog's Head, which sounds like a great place to be. And they order some beverages, and then they wait to see who's going to arrive to hear what Harry and really Hermione has to say. So yeah.
Let's do this thing.
Let's do it.
Do this thing.
Do it.
Okay. So Hermione had not brought up Harry teaching them Dad. Says Dad. Defense against the dark arts for an entire 2 weeks after she had suggested it the first time. So Harry finally had time to do his homework, his detentions with the glorious and super lovable kind Umbridge were over, but he had come to the conclusion that the words that he had etched on the back of his own hand were probably never going to fade.
And they don't.
They don't.
They don't.
Does he have them for the rest of his life?
Yeah.
Well, he has them in Cursed Child.
I have a feeling like it just seems like, you know how we say like dark magic leaves. It's like, what am I trying to say?
Traces.
Sure.
Mark?
I think that's a form of dark magic. I think that's why it never faded. I think that's why, Harry's scar doesn't fade. Yeah.
Okay. So my thoughts and feelings about the scars, I feel like his scar on his forehead is different than the scar on his hand. I think the biggest reason why the scar on his hand, like, is a scar is because, like, think about if you've ever had, like, an injury, like a cut or something, and, like, say you picked at the scab, so it never really gets to heal properly, and it becomes a scar. That's how I feel the scar on his hand is, because he keeps having to write the same lines, so it never really, like, gets to heal. Night after night, he's writing the same thing. You know what I mean? So it keeps getting irritated. So in my mind,
make it more magical. Take the real life and make it magic.
The person that has like literally learned how a cut heals itself from the inside out. These are things I think of where, like, I think that had he used like maybe a scarring paste, I don't know if that's a thing. I'm sure it is. I don't know. I think that had he like used something like on his hand, like like a Neosporin or one of those scar things that we have in the Muggle world, they probably have more powerful ones in the magical world. I would assume that it would go away. But I think that Harry, one, maybe doesn't even care or like wants that as a reminder of like, I must not tell lies. Like, you know what I mean? Where like if he tried to do that on his forehead, it wouldn't work because it's a whole different ball game of like Voldemort was inside the little lightning ball and he was looking out, being assy.
Yeah, but what about the Murtlap?
I think that just helped. Like,
I think it helped soothe it.
Yeah. Because the second he took his hand out, it was still hurting. You know what I mean?
Bogus. I call bogus on all counts. It's dark magic. Done. Close the book.
It's the Horcrux, Jace.
It is the Horcrux. Right in his hand.
His hand is a seer. All right.
I want a new shirt that says it's dark magic. It's the dark magic. But the lake, you guys.
But the lake.
Which one? Like Erie,
Superior,
like Michigan.
It's called Lake in Fury, but I don't want to get too specific.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. No, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm right.
Do you see?
But it's dark magic.
Sure.
See what I'm saying?
Like I think that whatever that quill is, didn't she call it like a quill of her own making? Like obviously, she has no qualms of doing things on the darker side for gain to herself. So I don't disagree that the quill itself / her is using dark magic. I just think that doesn't super contribute. In my mind, that doesn't super contribute to the scar on his hand.
Okay. But
maybe like even just using like, because I know we talked about like magical injuries in the past and everything, but maybe because it was used or like gained as from using like a magical tool, that it won't completely heal no matter what anyways, because it is magical. I don't know. These are just things I'm rambling off.
It's fine. That's why we have a podcast, because that's what we're supposed to do. Yeah, this is being recorded, so watch what you say.
No, me of this.
Anyways, or as Sasa would say, any whoosies, Ron had made it through 4 more Quidditch practices, and he had not been shouted at during the last 2 of them.
Go Ron!
Progress! And on top of all of this, all 3 of them had managed to vanish their mice in Transfiguration class, and Hermione had progressed to vanishing kittens. And we have to have a conversation again, because I got really upset while I was reading this. And I said, so are there mice and kittens just in the atmosphere? If vanished things go into non-being, which is to say everything, then are they just hanging around?
I was going to ask the same thing, because I was going to say, have we talked? I know we've talked about it, but I don't honestly remember that much of like where
just talk about like if the
where things go, like when you vanish them. So like, is there like another plane? You know what I mean? Like there are different,
like another dimension.
Yeah,
I feel this.
Another dimension.
Ooh.
Like what if it's just full of like animals? They're probably living a great life because there's not humans around to be mean to them. Not saying not saying these people, people that are mean to animals.
Okay, Katie, what do you have for me? Because I'm very interested.
You know how you see something out of the corner of your eye?
Mm-hmm.
Like all the time, I'm like, I think I see a cat, because I think about cats all the time.
Maybe those are the vanished cats,
or the vanished whatever. It's just like a quick blip in time.
They're in Katie's eyes.
Always.
Everyone,
maybe.
Always.
They just like lurk in the shadows and eat off of all the house pets' scraps. Iggy wouldn't leave them anything, but Teddy would.
Yeah.
I just thought about this because I thought about 7, when McGonagall answers the question to get into Ravenclaw Tower. And then I was like, okay, so they're just everywhere. To me, they go back into the universe.
Well, like what do you mean when you say they go back into the universe?
You know how this is bad examples.
Because we're all like circle of life, right?
Let's take the water cycle, for example. This is a nicer example rather than what I was originally thinking. The water cycle. So, it comes down, goes in, blah, blah, back up. Comes down, blah, blah, blah.
So are you saying that
Is
they
that the
die and come back to
scientific?
life as something else, possibly?
I wouldn't put it past them, no.
Does it come back as a new kitten?
That makes me really sad.
It makes me also sad. That's why I had to talk about it. But no, it kind of does make me think about the water cycle. Everybody's like laughing at me in Discord. Sorry.
You know, like
for real.
you know how there's always this like ethical question when it comes to high school biology and dissecting animals?
I feel this, yes.
Do you think that that's the case with like vanishing animals at Hogwarts?
I
Probably
bet they
actually
get up
vanish.
that
But
high.
honestly, like, I think that also we have to remember, like, this was written several years ago.
Mhm.
So the times in our real life is different. But like nowadays we think of things like that, like, you know, is it ethical? Like they probably weren't worried about it. Also, we know the Wizarding World, obviously, like they don't care about a lot of things. They don't care about, like, there's some people out there that think Muggle-borns are horrible people. You know what I mean? So like those are probably the same people that like don't care that you're vanishing animals.
Well, and I
saying it's
also
right.
I ask a couple of other questions. So I want to ask, can you bring them back?
I'm gonna say no.
You can.
Kate?
If you vanish something, I think it's gone. Personal opinion. Headcanon, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I don't want to say I don't think you can get them back, but I don't think you can get them back.
I don't think you can either, and I'm upset.
Yeah,
Also,
that
though,
hurts
like, it
me.
kind of, like, if you think, like, McGonagall's watching, like, her own, like, spirit animals, like, just go. If they're gonna go from rat or mice to cats.
Why can't we just be vanishing spiders or scorpions?
Or what about
Or-
just like buttons?
But, like, really, like, say you get mad, like, say you and a friend or you and a person get in a fight and you just vanish them. Like, what if you're really good at it? So does that person just go wherever? Can you do that? Can you vanish a human being?
Well, they tried to vanish Montague in the vanishing cabinet, and he turned up. He splinched himself, but he almost died, but he came back.
And the vanishing cabinet is different than me trying to, with my wand and my magicness, vanish you. You know what I mean?
I know. I'm trying to not think about this, even though I thought about it a lot. So anyways, I also asked, so where are we buying these animals? Where are we getting them from? Are we like multiplying them from one? So do you think that maybe McGonagall in her first year of teaching bought a kitten, and multiplied it a bajillion times? And so it's really not one cat there, or it's really not multiple cats. It's just one. I don't know.
You know
I
what
have
the
a question
That would
about
make me
that.
feel better.
So say you have your first cat, let's name it, I don't know, Abby, just because it's an A name. And I'm thinking that's the first letter of the alphabet. And if you multiply it, does it become less? Like, so you go from having one cat to two. Are they
Like a
talking
Horcrux?
I'm not
You get what
talking
I'm
about
saying?
tomato sauce with you.
What I mean by that is, like, are they exact copies? So, like, is their DNA fully another, like, they're exact, you know what I mean? Or is it less, like, each time you get a little bit less? Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like
I
the
know what
tomato
you mean.
sauce.
Basically. Like, if you start off, like, if you take a tomato and you double it, so you cut the tomato in half to make, like, 2 full tomatoes, but you only add, like, whatever's the extra stuff. It doesn't really, it's not like so it's not a full cat. It's a half of a cat with just some other stuff. So I don't think that would be effective, is what I'm saying. If you're trying to go for a more difficult animal to vanish, personally, I don't think that would work, because if she's working there for 30 years and she's having all of these people vanish cats and it's the same cat, I think that, like, 30 years from then, so, like, Hermione vanishing a cat would be way easier than, like, the original student trying to vanish the
I
first cat.
totally get what you're saying. It's like less of the cat every time you multiply it.
Yes.
Less of a true cat.
Okay.
The thing, writing these notes, I knew this conversation was going to happen, and it's just playing out so perfectly for me right in front of my eyes.
But here's my beef with this.
Sure.
Beef tuna chicken.
What?
Cat
I
related.
just am. I would never be okay with vanishing a kitten.
No, I wouldn't even be okay vanishing a mouse.
I could
But
get.
you have to think about McGonagall's Patronus anyways. Like, she is a cat.
I could get over vanishing a mouse.
No, man, that was my first pet ever.
I mean, I like mice. I totally get you. I get you. But
I don't.
vanishing a kitten is on the same level to like Tiffany as vanishing a puppy.
Oh, I understand.
I would say
happen.
Exactly.
if I knew it was painless, and if I knew what happened to them, like if you just vanished them and like say you knew where they were going to go and you can get them back and like everything was like, I don't think this is the case. Honestly, I don't think it would be painless. I don't know. But I don't think any of the things that like if I knew were in place I don't think like, you know, I don't think it is painless. I don't think we know where they're going to go, and I don't think you can get them back. But if all of those things were reversed and all of those things were like, yeah, it's painless, we can get it back. Like you just say this spell, then I wouldn't have a problem with it. But because all of those other things, I think I would I don't want to do that. Because like really, why do you need to banish an animal?
I would not be a fan.
Why can't they just do inanimate objects?
Yeah.
They do both, I believe.
Because inanimate objects are not as hard to vanish.
But
so like
should
that's
you be vanishing living things.
No, I know, I totally get you, but that's like where
what is the point of
like
vanishing?
what's our end game here?
I'm gonna vanish a human.
Awesome.
I'm gonna vanish a human.
Is McGee this dark witch?
Isn't that just like killing someone though?
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. This makes me sad.
I'm sorry.
I have something that'll make you feel better.
I do have to tell you that this topic is one of the reasons why I split this chapter is because I knew this conversation was going to happen.
Think about this. If you can duplicate a cat, you're in a room, it's sealed. Okay. It's just you and this kitten. It has a Gemini curse on it. You touch the kitten. Kittens everywhere.
That's like a dream come true.
I know.
Yeah, but it also would be like really smothering because like what if you can't get out of the room and then the cats are hungry? But also like if
you went
touching cats, they just keep getting more and more, then you drown in cats. But if you like cats, that might be a pleasant way to go.
That's not a bad way to go.
It's like the Lestrange's vault.
You'd be able to smell warm kitten fur.
Yep.
You'd have warm kitten fur touching your face.
It would still be dramatic.
Death by kittens.
That's dramatic.
Okay, well, let's see. So what is this? Okay, so on Reddit, someone asked where do, and do is capitalized, vanished objects go? Okay, so somebody said into non-being, which is to say everything. Isn't it clear? Thanks for the obvious, friend. That I'm not going to call those people out, but they
so
said,
that means they die. Sorry, go ahead.
Seeing as all matter is made of energy, it turns back into its most raw form.
So atoms, is that what they're saying?
Hold on, let me pull up the rest of their specific conversation.
No, I'm not here for this.
It says, I've always assumed it didn't turn back into anything. It just disappeared. If it doesn't follow the law of conservation of energy, that's because it's magic. Hold on, there's more comments. Then they have to load. Yeah.
I don't like the idea of it just becoming nothing.
Oh, never mind. They just start fighting with each other, so I'm not going to read that.
I don't like the idea of it like it just, I don't know, because it's like a cat. Even with the mouse, like you're basically like it's going from, if you're saying like it's going into like into the nothingness, into like the ether or whatever, and becoming the most raw form of itself, like wouldn't that be like atoms? Because at our essential core, like that's what everyone is, you know, just atoms coming together to be elements, you know, compounds, blah blah, whatever.
They're just born.
So like you're such a complex, like as a mouse. Yes, it's not as complex as a cat, but it's still a complex thing. And now all of a sudden, after a spell, what fifth year is doing, now it's back to being atoms. I don't like it.
Okay, well, this person, Science Nera, this person went on to say, My headcanon is when something is conjured, the comparatively infinitesimal amount of matter which constitutes it is taken from all matter. When an object is vanished, it goes into non-being, which is to say everything, as Professor McGonagall states in Deathly Hallows. This means that all matter is dispersed into all matter. It is the opposite of conjuring. Other people said to another dimension. Another person said, I think the particles just disperse into the air. And that was
I just don't like that either. So like, what if like, okay, so, you know, like in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, when Mike TV like becomes particle, goes into the TV. Yeah. So like, that's kind of like what I'm picturing when you're talking about this. So like the mouse or the cat or whatever they're vanishing now becomes a little atoms or little whatever into the matter. And now you're conjuring something. Say you conjure a horse, and all of this matter now becomes a horse. So parts of the mouse and parts of the cat are now a horse.
Yeah.
When all of their lives he spent being a mouse, then nothing, and then all of a sudden they're a horse. I don't like that either.
Though this could be reincarnation within the books.
Yeah, but like, wouldn't it be confusing though? Like, I don't know. I don't really know how exactly reincarnation works.
Well,
but like, if the mouse then. Like, what if parts of them, like 3 mice's mouse? What am I talking about? Mice. And then a cat. Like, so all of these things now are a horse. Wouldn't that get confusing for all of their little beings to be like, I was a mouse. Me too. Oh, I was a cat. Oh, I was a dog. And now they're a horse all together.
That's a horse of a different color.
That's awesome.
I don't know.
That's cool, but I still just feel bad for the kitten.
Yeah, at the end of the day.
Am I made up of cats?
People that like eat. So like, what if you vanish a cow, right? And what if you're trying to conjure a cow or whatever animal that you want to eat as meat? I'm not condoning conjuring because you can't conjure food, right? So like, what if you're doing it for the purpose of that? Would you even be able to conjure the animal?
These are questions.
Right,
ways
like
around
intent,
ways around the magic.
But does your intent count?
No.
Like if you if you intended it for food.
I don't know. You gotta mean the curses.
Yeah.
I was gonna say the same thing. You have to mean to, like, you know, Harry literally says when he does that to the Carol person, he's like, oh, you really do have to mean it. So like, I think you do. Like, what if you're saying, I really would like a chicken dinner tonight or something, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And
why
also
can
with
you
Patronus,
conjure a chicken but not like cooked chicken, right? So like, just conjure a chicken and then make it yourself.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what if like it's your intention to have a chicken dinner and you're thinking, I want the chicken now, so you conjure it. Will it come to you? If
do
that's
we know?
What you're thinking.
Do we know if you can conjure animals though?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I have no idea.
I think you can draw them.
You could draw them.
Like a chair.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get out of this loop.
I wonder though, like, could you conjure seeds to like plant a garden?
Oh, probably.
Where do we see evidence that
food?
You can conjure animals? I know you can transfigure things, but can you conjure one?
Oh, I mean, yeah, Malfoy did it. Like, he got the serpent, but is that conjuring?
I think that's just part of a spell. I don't think that's an actual serpent.
But what if there's a chicken spell?
Well, I guess Harry talked to it in Parseltongue, though.
You can eat snake.
What?
That's true.
What?
I mean, other cultures eat snake, so like...
I know, but I was like talking about something else, and then Megan's like, you can eat snake. Like, oh, okay. I don't know. These are thoughts that we have to really like take some time.
These are thoughts didn't let me get a hold of, because then I'm going to be like, what that doesn't work, and how does this work? And
I love it.
Well, let's just continue on with this chapter, since my section is bananas short, and we've already spent a very good chunk of time on it. Okay. Anyways. So on a wild, blustery evening in September, the trio is sitting in the library and they're looking at potion ingredients. And Hermione brings up the subject again about Harry teaching them defense against the dark arts. Quote, I was wondering, Hermione said suddenly, whether you thought any more about Defense Against the Dark Arts, Harry. Course I have, said Harry grumpily. Can't forget it, can we, with that hag teaching us? And I just wanted to remind everybody what a hag actually is.
I prefer the name Sasa or Sarah. Thank you.
So on the wiki, it says hag is a Sasa in its most raw form.
Oh my god.
Oh, anyways. So a hag is a savage being that looks like an ugly old witch, but has more warts. They have 4 toes on each foot and have a taste for flesh of human children and possess rudimentary magic similar to that of a troll. Many muggles tend to think that hags are what witches look like and therefore popular in muggle literature.
Ooh.
Children. Come on over. In the 14th century, hags were, quote, gliding about in search of children to eat at Burdock Muldoon's failed meeting at the Wizards' Council, welcoming any 2-legged creature as beings. I don't know what that's about, so I'm going to skip over that. Quirrell is supposedly had a nasty bit of trouble with a hag sometime in 1991 during his grand tour where, you know, he got to meet up with good old Voldy and they became the incredible duo.
Oh my god.
Sometime in or before 1992, Gilderoy Lockhart published a book called Holidays with Hags. Whether the book was about one of Lockhart's fictions, in which case it would be useless, or one of the stories he stole from another memory-charmed wizard or witch is unknown. I think he probably stole it because that's just his MO.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, so that's part of his collected works. Oh, do you know what I just discovered? He has 7 books in his collected works.
He doesn't deserve 7 books.
That's pretty cool.
He can't remember them anyways. It's all right.
True.
Ooh, this is good. In 1993, Harry Potter thought he saw a hag ordering a plate of raw liver from behind a thick, I don't know how to say this word. I say it wrong every time.
You spell it?
I say it like the dessert baklava.
Oh, balaclava.
Balaclava.
Baklava. Ooh, that sounds good right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A hag sent in a word in support of hags to the Daily Prophet offering babysitting services. What is this sort?
Oh,
Hold
I
on.
don't like that.
Might be one of those weird things. Daily Prophet newsletters. That's all it says. That's got to be from something else a long time ago. Like when Rowling was producing other things. The ministry classification classifies that hags as beings, a fact that causes centaurs and merpeople to desire the classification of beast. And then there's a bunch of hags that are known. Oh, did you know Old Mother Hubbard was a hag?
Oh.
According to this, she was. Yeah.
What did she do? What's her thing? Old Mother Hubbard.
I literally in my head I thought
Something about a cupboard.
Old Mother Hubbard sat in her cupboard eating her curds and whey, but that's 2 totally different ones.
That's what I thought. I was thinking the exact same thing.
Who is Old Mother Hubbard?
Oh, it's so wrong.
Along came a spider and sat down beside her. Hold on,
And said,
no.
"You a hag."
Old Mother Hubbard is an English language nursery rhyme first given in extended printing in 1805. Jeez. Although the exact origin of the rhyme is disputed, it has a rude folk song index number, blah, blah, blah. Notable nursery rhyme. Let's see. Let's read this. All right. Old Mother Hubbard went to the cupboard to give the poor dog a bone.
Yeah.
When she came there, the cupboard was bare. Oh, God. And so the poor dog had none. She went to the baker's to buy him some bread. When she came back, oh, I don't like this. The dog was dead. She went to the undertaker's to buy him a coffin. When she came back, the dog was laughing. Dude, nursery rhymes are weird.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
Okay, so hags can occasionally be encountered in Diagon and Nocturne alleys, as well as Hogsmeade. I don't know where all of this is coming from.
A dark, dark place on the internet.
Jeez. Yeah, it's called the Harry Potter wiki.
Interwebs.
beds. So anyways, Hermione basically says, if you don't know what I said before because of Old Mother Hubbard, Harry thought that Hermione was talking about classes with Umbridge, but Hermione says no. She's like, the idea that Ron and I had about you teaching Defense Against the Dark Arts. And Ron pumps the brakes. He gives Hermione a look that clearly states that it was not his idea that he came up with her. And she's like, okay, I came up with it. She thought she could get him on her team, but it wasn't happening. And Harry did not answer at once. He pretended to be pursuing a page of Asiatic anti-venoms because he did not want to say what was on his mind. And I was like, what do they mean by Asiatics? It's just anti-venoms that can be found in Asia.
Oh, got it. I see the word now. It looks like it would be like some kind of plant. I know.
But I didn't know this. If you go to Merriam-Webster.com, apparently the term Asiatic is sometimes offensive. And it says that in there. And like Sarah said earlier, these books were written a while ago. But that is what the word means. It just means coming from Asia. So there's like, they give examples: an Asiatic lily, the Asiatic elephant. That's all I know. First used sometime in 1602.
Interesting.
But, you know, these are books. We've got to look it up. You live and you learn. That's right.
All right.
Green.
All right. So, my turn. So Harry thought about what Hermione said a lot. And sometimes it seemed crazy, and then other times he found himself thinking about all the spells that had like best served him, and he even found himself subconsciously planning lessons. Professor Harry. I like, honestly though, I think Harry would have been a great Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, and sometimes I wish that would have been the route that she had gone for him at the end of the book, as opposed to an order.
Maybe that's what he does like in his like older retirement-ish.
Maybe.
You know what I mean? He's only, pushing 40 in Cursed Child, so.
Yeah. Maybe when his kids are done with school.
Yeah. Because that would be weird to teach your own kids. Not that it's unheard of, but.
For Harry Potter, it might be. His kids, we saw the pushback from Albus already.
They already have to live with the last name of Potter.
Right?
Yeah.
So he says, he has thought about it, but he doesn't know. So now that Ron is like sure that Harry is not going to just start shouting about it, now he starts bringing his opinion into it, and he jumps in and says that he thought that it was a good idea from the start. Harry's like, you did hear what I said about it all being luck, right? And Hermione is like really gentle here. There's no point in pretending that you're not good at Defense Against the Dark Arts. Like, he's the only person who could have thrown off the Imperius curse last year. He can produce a full-fledged Patronus, and he can do all sorts of things that full-grown wizards can't. And then she says, Victor always said. And then Ron looks around so fast that he gets a crick in his neck and goes, yeah? What did Vicky say?
Vicky! Vicky.
God, he is so emotional.
You know, that's like a technique that people like used, or maybe they still use it, I don't know, where they'll try to be like, they'll know that like the person they like is talking about like, you know, like another guy, and so he calls him by like not his name.
Yeah.
So like, oh, Vicky, and it's Victor. Oh, whatever.
Oh my gosh. So she then continues and says that Victor said Harry knew how to do stuff that even he didn't, and he was in his last year at Durmstrang. Oh, you looked like you were going to say something.
I was going to say Dormstring.
Dormstrang, sorry. So Ron asks if Hermione is still in contact with Vicky, and Hermione says that she can have a pen pal if she wants. And then Ron is like, he didn't only want to be your pen pal. Which, I mean, just saying, Ron, if you're jealous, like, jump on it. you should have learned that last year with the Yule Ball. Just saying.
She's a single lady, and she's allowed to talk to who she wants.
Yep.
Victor, I love you.
Victor, I do. When we're apart, my heart beats
It's only for you.
Okay. So Harry asks if it would just be him teaching Ron and Hermione. But Hermione is like, well, we're kind of talking about defending ourselves against Voldemort. And she stutters, but she says it. And Ron, of course, flinches. And she goes, oh, don't be pathetic, Ron. It doesn't seem fair if we don't offer the chance to other people.
I like that.
I agree. If he's going to be doing it already, why not allow other people in on it?
So Fudge
they're all suffering from Umbridge being the teacher. It's not just the three of them.
And it's not even just about grades.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's where her head is at. As much as Hermione, she is all about them books, good grades.
Oh my
Did you just make that up on your own?
Yeah.
I'm very proud of you. It was very good.
She has changed so much from year one, where being expelled was the worst thing that could happen to someone. She is really embracing the fact that this is real and they have to protect as many people as they can.
Yeah. Well, she said that in the last chapter. There are things that are more important than grades. And like you said, it's so true. And she wants as many people that want to learn, practically to learn.
Right.
You were going to say something, Kate?
Oh, I was going to say Fudge should be afraid of Hermione because she's the one building up the army, man.
That's right. Hermione's me.
She's
Girl
the one
power.
coming after his job. And
Right.
guess what?
Oh.
You better hide your jobs.
So then Harry thinks about it, but reminds Hermione that, according to everybody, he's a nutter. So who else would want to be taught by him? And Hermione says that he would probably be surprised and suggests that they at least just tell anyone who's interested to meet during their Hogsmeade visit so that he can see who decides to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Do you guys think that she was already putting the idea quietly out there? Yeah. Because when she says he would be surprised, I'm like, girl, you were already asking people if they'd be interested.
Oh, yeah.
I think Hermione, obviously, she knows her friends really well. And as much as Harry's I'm not doing this, she knows that, he can't help himself and he was going to do it eventually.
Yeah, because he's the chosen one.
I am the chosen one.
He's the type of guy that, he's willing to help others. You know what I mean?
And I think he likes a challenge. It's he doesn't think that he's good enough for this, so he almost wants to prove himself wrong by doing a good job at it,
Yeah.
Harry.
So then Ron is like, why do we have to do it outside of school? And Hermione is I kind of envision her saying this obviously, Ron, this is why. Because I don't think Umbridge would be very happy if she found out what we were up to.
Yeah.
She's not wrong.
She is not wrong because Umbridge is already onto them. Probably.
Educational decree 35,001.
Oh my god.
Not gonna do it. Nope. No fun for students unless you're a Slytherin.
Right?
I get free reign of the castle this year.
Meg, did you just love your 5th year at Hogwarts?
Oh, it was awesome.
I feel if she only going back to the whole Quidditch thing of if she'd only let them what's the point of only letting one or two of the houses play Quidditch? There's not a point. You know what I mean? What's the point of playing one team?
She don't care.
Because it's about giving them advantage for house points.
Hufflepuffs had the best parties, not Slytherin.
Can you imagine all the food?
I just think it would be the best atmosphere. They would have a lot of great food. And they're very welcoming people.
Yeah, we are. All right. It's yellow. So Harry is looking forward to this Hogsmeade weekend trip, even if it means he has to make a speech, but he doesn't think about that till the last minute. But he is worried about Sirius because it's almost October, And Sirius had been very silent since the last time they spoke at the beginning of September. So it's probably been like at least a couple of weeks since he's spoken at all, like no correspondence. But Harry's still worried, like, you know, is Sirius just gonna show up there and like just throw caution to the wind? And like, what's gonna happen if this big black dog comes bounding at us and like we happen to run into Malfoy at the same time? Like, clearly they know what's going on. Like, it's just really bad news. So this poor kid has to worry about that. And he talks to Ron and Hermione, which I think is good because earlier in this book he was bottling everything up. Mm-hmm. But Ron sides with Sirius a bit. He's like, you know, you can't totally blame him for wanting to get out and about. Like, sure, it wasn't probably any fun, like, being on the run for 2 years, but at least he wasn't cooped up in the house with, you know, a lunatic creature, to which Hermione's not very pleased that he says that, but she doesn't say anything. Yes, Tiffany?
I think this is one of those moments where we can really see that Ron is learning to be empathetic towards people, like, in more of an outspoken kind of way. Like, he may have always thought these things, but I love how he voices that because he's not wrong. Like, it's super hard for Sirius. Like, first of all, I don't think that is in Sirius's nature to be locked up. He turns into a dog. Dogs are not meant to be like caged up. So I think it's really hard for him. And I like that Ron brings that to light, even though obviously we know it's very, very dangerous. Sasa.
Yeah. Well, and I know that, like, since we started with this book, and people have been listening to chapters, and we've seen people on the air being like, haha, if they only knew when they were talking about Sirius not being able to get out for months. Like, we all now know how that feels.
I know.
To be stuck in a house. It's not fun.
I think you're a seer, Sasa, because I believe you are the one that really brought that up and said it.
I think I was.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm grateful that I have to leave my house for my job. So I feel for Sirius in this moment and in this book, because it's got to be hard, especially because he's like, when he talked to Harry and he hadn't seen anybody for days. And like Ron says, he's cooped up with that house elf that they don't like each other. So it can't be pleasant. And he's in a place anyway that has a lot of hard memories for him, to be there. But he at least knows, I think, in the back of his head, like, why he's doing it and why he's there, for not only like his best friends, but like for Harry, and it still sucks. But
for sure.
All right, go on, Katie. Sorry.
Do not apologize. That was a wonderful conversation. Was it vanishing? Where do they go? Conversation? I don't know, but it was still great. So Hermione's like, well, you know, until Voldemort comes out into the open, Sirius doesn't really have a choice but to stay hidden. She says, quote, the stupid ministry isn't going to realize that Sirius is innocent until they realize that Dumbledore's been telling the truth all the time, but Dumbledore is really not in great spirits with the ministry right now at all. And then she says, once, quote, the fools start catching real Death Eaters, it'll be obvious that Sirius isn't one. And she says, I mean, he hasn't got the mark for one thing. I want to point out, though, that doesn't really prove anything, because Narcissa isn't a Death Eater or have the dark mark, but she comes to the light side, obviously, but like, she was in cahoots with them the whole time.
But does she really come to the light side, or is she just being a Slytherin and trying to preserve her family?
Boom.
But the Malfoys are pretty textbook self-preservation Slytherin.
Correct.
Yeah. Right.
But that's a fair point. And not having a mark doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Oh, correct. Yes, absolutely correct. Like,
but I think that both of them, like, because don't they say, or doesn't Draco say in Cursed Child when talking about Astoria, his departed wife, that like a reason why they got along so well is because she didn't agree with any of that blood supremacist stuff, and his parents didn't like her because of that.
Yeah, I don't think that
dad. His parents.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think his parents so much ever did the right thing, but Draco definitely changed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. Maybe his attitude, not so much, but I feel like the way that he operated in his life.
I feel like because the way he acted in Cursed Child, like his kid was in danger. So like I think any parent's gonna be a little bit like not super happy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I kind of feel like that was just an intensified version of his regular self. I feel like he and Harry could never, maybe he calmed down with other people, but I feel like he and Harry were always going to have that rivalry for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. But, yeah, as for Narcissa and Luscious, I feel like Narcissa did a really brave thing in that moment, but it was also a very like selfishly brave thing.
Yeah.
With the self-preservation.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, like had she not done that, the whole war could have gone a different direction. How many other lives would have been lost? Would Harry have died? I mean, he's,
Like for real.
you know what I mean?
Like that
Yeah.
doesn't like I think like one act on her part does not make her a wonderful person. She just was she did the right thing in the moment and the brave thing. But that doesn't make her but honestly we don't know a crazy ton about her, so I can't say how good or bad of a person she is, but
I honestly think that once Voldemort wanted to use Draco is when her mind started changing. Not necessarily for like, oh, I don't believe that, like Muggles are not bad anymore. I still think that she still held like a prejudice against Muggleborns and Muggles and blood traders and all of that per se. But I think that that's when she was like, okay, maybe this is a step too far now that it's hitting too close to my home.
But like, so he was underage, so who let him get the dark mark? Like,
I guarantee they didn't have a choice. I guarantee that.
It was to save their family, like, legacy. They had to have Draco get it.
It was like, you do this or you're probably going to be dead.
Yeah.
I'm just pointing that out. I'm not saying any which way about it. He was 16 at the time?
And he never lived up for what his father wanted him to be. And we heard him say that, Precious Potter and all of this. And why did Hermione Granger beat you out and all of these other things? Like, we know that Lucius put him down constantly.
Oh, for sure.
And this was something that was going to bring the Malfoys back to the holy family of the dark side of everything. You know what I mean? But,
this is also a conversation for like another day.
Yeah, it totally is. But this is Swish and Flick, and we do what we want.
Right?
Sure. I just have a lot of feelings on all of those things, but
you're allowed to feel your feels.
Draco, every single member of the Malfoy family character profile, Felix file, is going to be epic.
True.
Every single
We're
one
not
of
done
them.
one yet?
No. We did a Death Eater one, so we like briefly touched, but not like just their own. We should though.
Yeah. Agreed.
Maybe towards the end of this book, once we like are reintroduced to them with like the battles and stuff like that, maybe we can do a couple of the Death Eaters.
I'm down.
Cool. Back to the chapter.
But yeah, Half-Blood Prince is Draco time. Yeah. But go ahead.
Draco time. All right.
Draco time.
So Ron, he's like, I don't really think.
Fine.
Oh my God. Ron is like, I don't really think that Sirius is stupid enough to show up like you're worrying about. But Harry still looks worried, of course, because Harry's always worried. So Hermione changes the subject and she's like, well, me and Ron have kind of been like testing the waters, seeing who might be interested in learning like proper defense against the dark arts. And a couple people do seem interested. So she's like, listen, Hogsmeade weekend, like, let's tell them to meet us somewhere there. And then she's like, listen, don't worry, because clearly Harry's still worrying about this. You have enough on your plate even without Sirius. So Harry's like, you're not wrong. Like, I'm barely keeping up with homework still. Though it is better because I don't have any of Umbridge's detentions anymore. But poor Ron's even further behind than he is because Ron has prefect duties. But Hermione, classic, she's taking more subjects than both of them, and yet she has all her homework done and still manages to make some elf clothes. And Harry says that, she's actually getting better. You can almost always tell the difference between the hats and the socks. Poor Hermione.
All right. Today is the day. It's coronation day. Just kidding.
The window is open, so's that door. I didn't know they did that anymore.
Who knew we had 8,000 salad plates?
So it's Hogsmeade Day. I don't know why I call it Hogsmeade. Hogsmeade Day. And so they all have to wait in line so Filch can make sure that all the students who are going to Hogsmeade have permission to be there. And it makes Harry think of Sirius because of Sirius. That's the reason he's allowed to go, because Sirius signed his permission slip. So that was nice of him. So when it's Harry's turn, Filch takes a big old sniff of him. And basically he's like, oh yeah, it's probably smelling for dung bombs. And so I think Ron was like, why is he smelling you?
I'd be like, please don't
so he
sniff
retold
me.
them the story of Filch accusing him of sending them or requesting them or something, with the letter a few weeks ago when he was sending the letter to Sirius and he was in the owlery, which is a hard word for Sasa to say. And Harry notes that Hermione found more interest in that story than Harry himself did. And then she wondered out loud, like, oh, I wonder who tipped Filch off. And Harry says, maybe it was Malfoy because, Malfoy would do something like that. But Hermione is skeptical of that idea. So then he was like, oh, so like, where are they going to have their meeting today? Like 3 broomsticks? I love their butterbeer. And she's like, nope. Hermione has planned for them to meet at the Hog's Head. Because, doesn't that sound like a great place to meet? Hermione says she doesn't want to meet the broomsticks because it is always packed there and it's noisy, and she doesn't even think that they're going to be overheard in the Hog's Head, where she thinks that they would be in the 3 broomsticks, but it's actually later pointed out to her that they would have been less likely to be overheard in the 3 broomsticks because of it being packed and being noisy. And so I'm just going to read a little bit from the chapter. This is a battered wooden sign hung from a rusty bracket over the door with a picture upon it of a wild boar's severed head leaking blood onto the white tablecloth around it. The sign creaked in the wind as they approached. All 3 of them hesitated at the door. And I wonder, because once they go inside, the whole place is kind of pretty dirty.
Yeah.
So I wonder, in my mind, even the sign above the door is real dirty too.
Yep.
They go in. Harry leading the way. They walk inside the Hog's Head. So I'm going to read a little bit more from the chapter. It was not at all like the 3 broomsticks, whose large bar gave an impression of gleaming warmth and cleanliness. The Hog's Head bar comprised one small, dingy, and very dirty room that smelled strongly of something that might have been goats. Makes me giggle. The bay window.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, goats. Goats, and not like LeBron James or me, because I am the greatest of all time, but just regular old goats that eat your grass.
Some would say Michael Jordan, but that's not my business.
Who's still playing? I don't know.
That doesn't matter.
It's me, Tiffany. Regardless of what you say, not Michael Jordan. It's Sasa. I am the GOAT.
You're not wrong.
End of discussion.
Some would say Tom Brady as well.
Uh.
Oh! Hey, he ripped his pants during that golf match the other day. Did anybody see that? Because that was amazing.
Hilarious. I was like, yeah, this is amazing. That's great.
I love how he handled it, though. That was sweet.
Let's get back to the goat me talking.
You want to talk about
because I am the greatest of all time. So the bay windows were so encrusted with grime that very little daylight could permeate the room, which was lit instead with the stubs of candles sitting on rough wooden tables. The floor seemed at first glance to be earthy, though as Harry stepped onto it, he realized that there was stone beneath what seemed to be the accumulated filth of centuries.
Jeez.
It just really makes me think, I wonder what he was living with.
bro, you have magic.
Right?
I feel like
Scortify something sometime,
here's how I feel. I feel like growing up in that household, because if y'all don't know, it's Aberforth. He is Dumbledore, well, Albus's brother. I can't say he's Dumbledore. Like, they're both Dumbledores. So I feel like, when like you have siblings and like maybe this is you, like maybe you're like the messier one, or maybe you're like the cleaner one. I feel like everything has its place, and everything in its place is Dumbledore. Like Albus has like, all of his things on his desk are at 90-degree angles, like someone on a TV show would say, if it's not a right angle, it's a wrong angle. Where like Aberforth probably just throws stuff anywhere. Like, yep, sure, that's fine. You know what I mean?
I consider myself an acute angle.
Okay. Do you know what that quote is from?
Don't be so obtuse.
Oh my god.
No,
Go back to the chapters.
what's that from?
I can't say.
Oh, okay.
It's a TV show.
Is it a creek?
Acquaintances would like that show. It's about acquaintances. What's another word? Friendly acquaintances. I guess I already said it. It's
Oh,
for friends.
Continue.
Harry remembered Hagrid had talked about the Hogshead before, and that you would meet, like, quote, like a funny folk at that bar. And that's where Hagrid had won a dragon's egg from a stranger. And obviously that was from, Sorcerer's Stone? Right?
Yeah.
Yup.
And how Hagrid had mentioned, like, he didn't think it was odd that a person there, like, would hide their face. And so then Harry kind of talks about, like he not mentioned, how in the book, it basically talks about, like, who he sees. So he sees a man sitting at the bar with his entire head covered in, like, gray, dirty bandages, who was drinking something smoking, but he was able to drink through a slit that was, like, right over his mouth. And then there were two people sitting at a table wearing hoods, and they're kind of closer to like the windows. And Harry notes that they basically reminded him of Dementors, because that's like the kind of hood and like stuff that they were wearing. But obviously he knew they weren't Dementors because he could hear them speaking. And Dementors don't talk. And then there was also a witch sitting by the fire that was wearing a hat with a veil that was so long that it like touched the floor. And then it mentioned her nose was so large it was protruding, like making the veil come out a little bit. And little do they know that under that hat disguise is Mundungus Fletcher.
Dong.
Spoiler, jeez.
So, like, Harry isn't totally convinced that Umbridge might not be one of those people that are already in the Hogshead because he can't see anyone's faces. And I said, while she isn't there, like I've said before, Mundungus Fletcher is. So he really isn't far off with that idea that, like, they're not, but are kind of being spied on, sort of. So I want to read some more from the chapter. Because Hermione says, like, even if Umbridge does come in here, there's nothing she can do to stop us, Harry, because I've double and triple checked the school rules. We're not out of bounds. I specifically asked Professor Flitwick whether students were allowed to come in the Hogshead, and he said yes, but he advised me strongly to bring our own glasses. And I've looked up everything I can about study groups and homework groups, and they're definitely allowed. I just don't think it's a good idea if we parade what we're doing. And then Harry, no, he said dryingly, especially as it's not exactly a homework group we're planning, is it? And I'm like, that's kind of basically like a little bit of foreshadowing to like literally the lengths that the Ministry and Umbridge will and are going to go to get control over not just Hogwarts, but Dumbledore, Harry, and like all of them in the near future, really to control things. And another little blip from the book. It says the barman, is that saddled? How do you say that?
Sidled.
So the barman sidled towards them out of a back room. He was a grumpy-looking old man with a great deal of long gray hair and beard. He was tall and thin and looked vaguely familiar to Harry. And I said, I wonder why. Oh, because there's another Dumbledore in this book. Interesting.
Credence?
We
Sorry,
don't know.
I yelled. I'm so sorry.
We don't
I know.
see if he even is around in the 1990s. And so Hermione then orders 3 butterbeers, which cost 6 sickles, and Harry pays for them. So then they go sit down at a table far from the farthest from the bar, and Ron immediately says that he bets that they could probably order whatever they want from the barman. He probably is willing to sell them anything. And Ron's always wanted to try fire whiskey, and Hermione reminds him that he's a prefect, and his response is, "Oh, yeah."
I'm with Ron.
What? Try it?
It sounds like it would be delish.
Fire?
Not at all nutrish.
Would you go up to Aberforth and ask? He
No,
for sure
hard
would
no.
not do it.
I would not.
Harry asks Hermione. I don't. You know what I say that he 100% wouldn't. I bet you he probably would because I don't know how much he cares. I don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Like if it was a brand new young kid, he probably would be like no. But I don't know. I feel like he's one of those types of people. If you want to do it, he's like I'm not going to stop you. If you want to drink till you're getting yourself sick, that's your own fault. I don't know. Don't do that. Anyway, so Harry asks Hermione who she said is coming to this meeting. And she's kind of like, oh, it's just a couple of people. They should be here soon. And she doesn't even get to finish her sentence when the bulk of all of these people start coming in. And so I'm going to name off all the people that have come. So it's Neville, Dean, Lavender, Bavardi, Padma, Cho, and her giggly friend, a.k.a. Marietta Edgecombe, Luna, Katie Bell, Alicia Spinnet, Angelina Johnson, Colin and Dennis Creevy, Ernie Mac.
Ernie Mac.
He's basically the best. Justin Finch Fletchley, Hannah Abbott, a Hufflepuff girl whose name Harry didn't know.
That's me.
Anthony Goldstein, who I think might be a relative, right, of Tina and
Newt or Queenie. Tina and
Queenie. There
Queenie.
you go.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's proven, but I feel like it is. Michael Corner, who also dates Ginny, correct? Terry Boot, Ginny, a member of the Hufflepuff Quidditch team who remains nameless, Fred, George, Lee Jordan. And so if I counted correctly, that's 25 of them plus the trio, which makes 28, I believe.
Sasa would, and I applaud.
Which is a division of 7. I'm just saying.
Get out.
Is your hand raised?
I'm just glad it's not 13.
Yeah, same.
Who's going to get up?
Well, if Harry does, that's cool. He's got a soul to spare.
So Harry isn't sure the amount
Excuse me, do you have a soul I can borrow?
That is not Harry's voice. I got an extra soul, man. It's all good.
I got this. It's like a bonus soul, man. I should go. I should just leave right now.
Wow.
God.
So
Feel sad,
Harry
Sasa.
is not sure that the amount of people that are there is considered a couple of people. And then Hermione's tells Harry, the idea was just seemed quite popular. And then she also tells Ron to just get more chairs. And it's funny because it's noted that the barman, aka Aberforth, I don't like calling him the barman, but they don't know his name yet. But I do. Aberforth stops what he was doing as he's and I think it's noted he's washing the glass, but it doesn't look like the glass is dirty, the rag is dirty, nothing is getting cleaner. And then Harry wonders if he had ever seen his bar this full.
Probably not. Unless it was full of goats.
Oh my god.
Good.
I
Can
like
we just
goats.
talk about how cute baby goats are for a second? I mean,
They're awesome.
Yeah.
I like the ones that get scared
they're
and they get all stiff.
puppies. They feel like puppies, the soft fur. It's the best.
If I remember, I'll post a picture of Meg with the little baby goat at Cedar Point. She was obsessed.
I think
Remember when goat yoga was a thing last summer?
yeah.
Yeah. What happened to that?
Oh my god.
Anybody else doing goat yoga?
I would love
Bleating
to.
good time.
I want to do cat yoga.
I caught that, Sasa. All right, friends. Well, that is the end of the first half. So let's go to the lightning bolt round.
Alrighty.
Yes, ma'am.
We have quite a lot.
I have a question.
What?
Sure.
Would you have brought your own glass?
Heck yes.
Yeah.
Flask.
I'm not drinking out of no rusty bottle. Think I'm
Sarah,
gross and
you could have
nasty?
brought that one that extends that you bought on the internet highway.
What did I buy?
A
Flask.
water bottle that.
Oh, yeah. I will tell you that, don't judge me too hard for this, but one time when I was in Ireland, we would drink essentially warm Bud Lights, because who drinks that? I wasn't necessarily ordering them, but my cousins really only drink Bud Light. Mind you, we were all of age, but they don't keep them because, like, who gets Bud Light in Ireland? But I've drank a warm Bud Light from a shelf that was like dusty because who drinks that in Ireland?
You're crazy. Good story.
But again,
though.
don't judge me too hard.
All right. Are we ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Marchismo asks, what would you call a magical scar remover?
Scar be gone.
I was gonna say that, and I thought it was too cheesy.
What's that wart remover called? Like St. Joseph? I'd call it like, or is it Dr. John? What the heck am I talking about?
Dr. John!
So talking about no.
That wart remover. It's like Saint or Doctor or something.
What if it was just Mrs. Scour's scar remover?
I like
Dermo
that.
spell.
Oh,
Blaster.
Expellidermalidobus.
Yes.
All right. Jesse asks, if you had one dark magical item, what would it be and how would it be used?
Oh gosh.
Wait, say it again.
If you had one dark magical item, what would it be and how would it be used?
Dark magical item. I'm not evil. This is
Mine-
hard for me to think
Mine would
of.
probably be like a comb.
Okay,
like,
what
Quite
would you do with it?
conspicuous.
Maybe like if I got mad at you, I would like comb some of your hair and then your hair would fall out. I don't know.
Don't make me comb
my.
you.
That's funny.
But I'm just thinking, like, I'm trying to think of like something I'd use like regularly or something. Not that the comb means a lot to me or anything. I'm just thinking like,
Ooh, I got one.
that's something like I could be able to use, or like a pair of like shears, you know, like not kitchen shears, but like hair cutting scissors, you know.
What if you had, I would have, this is really evil and I'm sorry I thought of it. I apologize. A water bottle that whatever you put in it turned it to poison.
Tiffany.
I know.
But what if like you could also like not have it be poison? So like,
No,
it
it's
just
just dark
depends on your
magic.
intent. You know what I
Dark
mean?
magic.
No, but like, what if you have control over it? So like, you want to give your enemies like a false sense of security.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
like,
So
maybe
you
you
can
put,
drink
like,
some.
You drink
wine
from
in
it.
there.
Whoa.
So
Yeah.
you shoot Katie with the wine and shoot Megan with the poison,
Whoa.
or vice versa.
Or vice versa.
Oh my god, don't drink anything that Sarah offers you ever.
I think that my dark magical item would be a cat. And it would turn.
Your answer.
But it
I'd
would.
be a cat. I'd choose a cat. I'd have a cat.
No, but
cat.
But just imagine if you could have like a cat that just turned into this evil creature on your command, and it would just like attack.
Like a gremlin?
Yeah.
You do call Iggy a gremlin.
He looks like a gremlin sometimes. It's the best. And they're so inconspicuous. Like, look at how stinking cute he is over there with his little fluffy butt. And then all of a sudden, he would just he would turn into this evil creature that would go, I will kill you.
Oh my god.
All right, Katie.
Or
you can't choose a
seriously
cat.
injure.
Or what?
Seriously injure.
Never matters. It just maim or seriously injure. I'm gonna go super Hufflepuff and say, I just want a nose biting teacup because that's funny.
Oh my god.
Is it just a nibble or is it full on biting?
Depends on how much I like the person.
Oh gosh.
Or I don't like the person.
That's fair. That's fair.
Truffles asks, is Umbridge related to Moldy Voldy in any way?
No.
Hope not.
I don't think so either.
No.
She
No,
has a nose,
well-
so
They're
No.
both. Neither one of them are purebloods.
Correct.
So
Correct.
They both preach things that they actually aren't.
Correct.
Well, because actually Umbridge does try to like hint that she is a descendant of Slytherin.
I think that if she
no, not Slytherin.
Oh, Selwyn. That's right.
Selwyn.
So I feel like if she was, we would know about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
She's that type of person.
She'd embrace that for sure.
1,000%.
The Mighty Oak asks, what would you conjure out of thin air with magic?
Cats.
Cats.
God. No. Okay, here it is. You for the rest of the episode, you're not allowed to say cats for any
Tiffany,
answers.
Why are you so mean to me?
Because it's always cats.
Okay, a kitten.
No.
Feline.
A Kneasel.
No animals for you
What?
of any kind.
All right,
Not allowed.
if I could conjure anything, it would be
And not food.
Tiffany!
You can't conjure to eat.
You can't
Part
do
of the
it,
law,
Katie. You're breaking the law.
A really comfy chair I could nap in.
All right, I'll give you that one then.
A cat
Jeez.
bed for my cat.
Oh. Cat toys. A cat snack.
Evil. Listen to that cackle.
Oh, God.
A hack cackle, I heard on the internet.
Sarah, what about you?
I have an answer, but I don't want to say it.
She would conjure
Then
a
choose
comb.
a different one, you bad girl.
It's not a bad thing. I just don't want the masses to hear it.
All right, well, tell me
The
after. 'Cause Now I'm
masses.
interested. You better
I
spit that out before I come through the internet and harm you physically.
If I could conjure anything,
You.
I don't know if this exists, but I would conjure like an endless supply of a hair mask that actually like is great. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So like my hair could be restored from all the damage I've done to it.
That's fair.
What would I conjure?
A nicer Tiffany who doesn't ban me from certain things I want to conjure.
I would conjure the world's comfiest pants.
Oh, dude.
That's good.
That's legit.
Yeah.
No, I don't need to wear pants.
Temperature controlled pants.
Yes. Oh my god, if I could have a whole temperature controlled outfit right now that would just like bathe me in coolness, I would love it. So, next question is Courtney. How long do you think Hermione and Ron talked together about Harry teaching everybody before they brought it up to him?
Did Ron know about it before they brought it up to Harry? I don't think he did.
Yeah.
I think he
I think he
did.
did. It wasn't his idea, but I think he talked to her about it.
I think that was the first he was hearing of it.
I don't know.
I thought he knew.
I don't think so.
Because I was going to, like, my answer to this was going to be, I guarantee you Hermione brought it up to Ron, like,
She
maybe
probably
even that first night that he had detention. And she was like, we got to do something about this.
I guarantee you she did one of those conversations with him where she like thought out loud, like how she does sometimes when she gets ideas.
Yeah.
And she's like, do you think we should have Harry teach us defense against the dark arts? And Ron would like go to say something and she'd be like, of course he should. He's so good at blah, blah,
Yes.
blah. He can teach us blah, blah, blah. And then like he can't talk and she
Yeah.
just goes and she's like, thanks, Ron. And then leaves.
That's headcanon. I love it. Sarah's over there looking it up in the book. to
Yeah, 'cause I
see.
don't believe it yet.
I swear that he knew about it.
No, really, because like it just seems like the conversation, because she's saying like, she was like, I was thinking about today. This is what she said. She goes, I was thinking that maybe the time's come when we should just do it ourselves. And here's like, do what? And she said, well, learn defense against our dark arts ourselves. So I think she like, so what it basically in my head is saying like, she just made this decision, like, or thought of it today, and then this is the first she's saying to both of them. Because Ron says, come off it, he groaned Ron. You want us to do extra work. You realize Harry and I are behind in homework again, and it's only the second week. And she's like, but it's so much more important than homework. And then
Sarah,
Harry and
you're
Ron
right.
goggled at her. I know. Thank you.
You're right.
Wow.
I apologize.
All right, chalk one up for Sasa.
I guess the answer to your
No.
question would
I
be
told
no.
you I am the GOAT. So why don't you believe me?
Somebody just put Sarah's face on a goat body.
Do it. Send it to us. I'm gonna print it out and hang it on the wall.
Yes.
Look at that sweet little baby goat.
Okay, so Lisa asks, what kind of parties do you think each house has?
I mean, we know what kind of Gryffindor parties we have. Raucous.
Oh my god.
I'm sure Slytherin parties are very similar to Gryffindor parties. They're quite similar people.
Hufflepuffs are always potlucks.
Oh, for sure.
Pun intended.
Uh-huh.
Katie. Uh-huh.
I don't know. So here's the thing though, like, yes, I'm a Ravenclaw, but like I also love a mean party. Yeah, Megan.
I was gonna say that I kind of view Ravenclaw parties as like super fancy, like wine and cheese parties where everybody's like hanging around, like talking all sophisticated.
Have you ever been to a party event where we're talking sophisticated?
No.
Yeah.
Murder mystery
No.
when we're pretending.
Yeah.
Like, I just want like people to like come together and have a good time. So like we play games at least at my Sarah O'Malley parties.
Yeah, but that's like a
I won't lie, I'm a
Ravenclaw thing to play games.
Ravenclaws sit in a circle
They're
and they
planned.
read riddles to each other.
What
I
we like to
mean-
do is we read Chaucer to each other.
Oh my gosh.
Or like Cards Against Humanity, you know, what's the difference?
right.
The Canterbury Tales.
No, we could do Trivial Pursuit.
There we go.
It's
Harry
very
Potter
educational.
Trivial Pursuit. I have it.
Oh, I was gonna say, is that a thing?
Yeah, I
Oh,
have
yeah.
Yeesh. Is it tough or is it like easy peasy
Eh.
lemon squeeze?
it. It's okay.
Depends.
Yeah, it. All right,
All right,
next one.
Next one. Jess, which house would do the most karaoke?
Gryffindor.
I would agree.
Gryffindor and Slytherin are.
See,
Slytherins
feel
would
it'd be
film the
Hufflepuff
Gryffindors.
for Gryffindor.
Really?
Oh, you really think Hufflepuff would? I think we're all too shy.
I feel like they're a little bit all too introverted.
I don't know if I agree.
Unless
I've
we
done-
had...
I've done karaoke once.
You can ask another one.
So Lisa asks, what is each house's drink of choice?
Is
I
this
totally
like-
call Ravenclaw as wine.
Is this adult beverage or just any drink?
Yeah, adult beverage.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you know
Gryffindor's beer.
beer.
Yeah.
Beer.
Slytherin
I
is
love-
like
I love
Slytherin's
good
like
in
mixed
dark
drinks.
ale.
Good cocktail, like a sidecar would be a great Ravenclaw drink.
Let's talk cocktails though.
Like gin and tonic for Slytherin.
Okay.
Mhm. I feel like you would be like an old fashioned actually.
Okay, I can deal with that. Yeah,
Fashion.
Ever had one? I don't
Yeah.
like them.
They're
I've
very
had
strong.
one. Yeah.
I like a good sidecar a lot. I had that a couple of times. I really enjoyed that.
What would Griff be as far as cocktails go?
A spicy margarita.
Jeez.
Trying to think of something like
A martini,
No, I
dirty
think
martini.
fire whiskey. Yeah. Hi, Iggy. Oh my god, he just rubbed on my face. That was the cutest.
Yeah, he's the best.
A mule, Moscow mule, perhaps.
love a
I
good
feel like a
Moscow
Moscow Mule is a good Hufflepuff cocktail.
I
Yeah,
love
I
a good
like
bourbon
this-
berry
yeah.
smash, though. A bourbon berry smash. You know what I'm saying?
I also feel like that would be good reading books, though. So, like, while you're reading a book, having a blackberry bourbon smash, let me tell you, I'm craving one of those today. I'm not even lying. I Googled, YouTubed, like, I'm like, how do you, obviously, like, I kind of know how to make one, but it's like, let me, like, watch someone make one and then be like, I'd like to drink you, but you're in the computer, so I can't.
I want Hufflepuffs to be rum and coke because it's sweet but has
With
an
a bite.
edge.
I like that.
Ooh, a dark stormy would be like another good one. That could be a Gryffindor one.
Yeah, because it's beer, right? Is it beer?
It's other stuff. It's not. I think it's bourbon.
Oh, really? Wait, what is my thing? Oh, I'm thinking like a black and tan. That's what I was thinking.
Yes, that is.
Vinny asks. Oh, go ahead.
Rum and ginger beer is a dark and stormy, which are
Oh,
very
that sounds good.
Ginger beer.
Vinny asks, "What's the best common room for a party?"
Griff.
I was gonna say Hufflepuff. It's right by the
I would
kitchen.
do Hufflepuff.
Yes.
It's like secluded, right?
We
I
can
guess
let
it's
it
not
get-
necessarily secluded, but it's by the kitchens, which is pretty epic.
Listen, Gryffindors is always going to end with someone with a lampshade on their head, but Hufflepuff, it could go that way or it could be like totally chill. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you'll be chill by the end of the night in Hufflepuff.
Oh my god.
Everybody's going to be in a food coma, though.
Oh yeah.
Snack coma.
I want a snack.
Maui Potter asks, "Where would you have held the meeting for Dumbledore's army?"
Shrieking Shack, man.
Right? No,
That would have been
Yeah.
Well,
no
but that's a, like,
question.
it's still secretive. I don't know. Honestly, I probably would have done Hogsmeade, Hogshead.
All right.
Really? I think I would have done the 3 broomsticks.
That's way too. Well, no, that would have been smarter. They do say that,
But
would have
it's
been smarter, so
loud,
it would
you
be
know?
harder to be overheard.
I would
Yeah.
have done it in the streets.
Maybe.
I probably would have gone with the kitchens, right? I just would have.
You
That's-
just
stayed
kept
at
it in Hogwarts.
Wouldn't have been-
Yeah, no one's gonna suspect you there. It's a hustle and bustle. The kitchen,
How about the chamber? The Chamber of Secrets. I like that.
Yeah.
And he says Dumbledore's office. Cut out the middleman.
Not wrong.
Oh, I like Hagrid's hut. I like that.
The Forbidden Forest.
Yeah. The chamber is incredibly underused. You are correct, Caitlin.
How would they get out of there? Like, where's Fox when you need him? Am I
Just
right?
call him.
Brooms,
Bring a
man.
broom
This is
with
the
you.
magic
Be
of
like,
the universe.
"Hey,
Oh, that's true.
come to the
Broom.
bathroom. Bring a broomstick. See you later." All right. Jess asks, "Do you think people get carded in the wizarding world?"
They'd have to.
Do they
because
have
you look
IDs?
younger than you normally do,
But
right?
do they even have ID?
What if it's like, what if you use your wand?
Oh,
Tiffany.
that's
Hey.
like foolproof. I like that.
That's
like a
that's what they do. Like, I feel like when, Eric Munch at the Ministry of Magic, he's taking people's wands and the little slip comes out and whatever. And
Yeah.
maybe it says your
It
age.
just knows.
ASL.
I like that.
Bunch of crunch and munch.
Oh, Eric Munch. All right. Mia asks, "What are you most looking forward to this weekend?" I like this question.
I hate it. I have to work all weekend.
Oh, Sasa.
I'm sorry, but we appreciate you as a nurse.
I'm not a nurse.
Well,
but that's
we
okay.
appreciate you being in the hospital system.
Yeah. It's just going to be hell.
You'll be okay. And if you need help, I can't help you, but I can support you through text.
Well,
I know that
can't
like
help
come
you.
Tuesday, I don't know why I did. So this is the thing. I'm working 3 12s in a row. And the last one honestly was like crazy rough. And so hopefully this one is better. But then like, I always tell myself like, why do I do this? But then I'm off until like the next week. Like I work Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then I'm off to the following Wednesday. And then my next weekend I have to work. I did again Saturday, Sunday, Monday, but then I'm off and then I have a vacation and then I don't work. So I get like 2 full weeks off after that. But still, why do I do the things I do?
What say you, Ez?
Well, we actually have. I'm going to be sitting in a lawn chair watching my seniors drive by in their car. Yeah. So that's a little different. Graduation. Congrats to class of 2020. So it's just a little weird. I'm going to be sitting there watching them. And I'll make a little sign, say, hey, congrats, and we're not allowed to typically I would shake hands with my seniors and give them a hug and give them a card. And they're like, send that in the post, just be there on the side of the road. It's crazy. Graduation went from 1 hour to 3.5 hours because you have to come in different waves. It's crazy. But,
weird.
It'll be interesting. I think the weather hopefully will be decent. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. My plan. Yep. And then I'm going to drive up to Cleveland and I'm going to go around maybe Tangletown, stay in my car,
I don't think many people know what Tangletown is.
I think we made that name up, didn't we? Is that actually a real?
We did not. That's I think it's called.
Darn it. I thought we were being clever. I thought we were being all cool.
No.
Oh, goodness.
What are you looking forward to this weekend?
Tiffany, what are you doing?
Tiff.
I said sleeping in.
Oh, I have just been religiously waking up early, even on the weekends. My body is just on a schedule now. But I'm looking forward to the weather being a little bit cooler, purely because we don't have AC and it will allow me to stay motivated in our apartment because we're trying to get rid of stuff and clean up. So I really just want to get rid of literally everything because we have way too much stuff and I'm over it. And yeah.
Samesies.
Nice.
I'm getting ready to move out of this dreaded apartment that we thought we were going to love and we didn't. So excited for this chapter to come to a close, basically.
Well, yeah.
So Jesse asks, what is the one thing you need to have in your house party?
Cats.
I banned you from that. You don't even know what to say.
Food. All the butterbeer.
Yeah, good food.
All the butterbeer.
All the snacks. And I'm not allowed to say that either.
I would say for mine, I have to have good food, which 90% of the time I'm cooking, and or desserts. Which I made a lemon bar the other day. It was delish.
Good music.
I'll say good company.
Yeah.
What's with the censorship here on Katie? Why she can't have cats at her party?
Thank you, Ezra.
Everything.
Because cats are live.
Don't even thank him. No, it's her answer for almost everything, so I banned her for the rest of the episode.
Oh my god.
Cats on cats, man.
Crazy. That's great. Well, let me ask you, have you ever been to a house party and not had a wide variety of chips? You know what I'm saying? You got to have
And dips.
If it's not there, you just sort of feel like, should I stay? Should I?
I would say,
do I need to leave right now?
And all the other food is so good you don't even want to eat chips. That's the kind of house party you should be going to, not the one with the variety of chips.
You double dipped a chip?
You better not. You better not. My thing is, I don't know, if there's not chips there, it just doesn't feel like a house party. So I'm already
chips. But if there's good food, you don't need a variety of them.
You need a good Cool Ranch Dorito.
You just got a couple, maybe 1 to 2 different kinds of chips, and then the good food, the good snacks that are so good you don't want to eat the other chips. You get what I'm
telling you, more importantly than the chips are the dips. That is what makes the chips, is the dips.
Or the veggie tray.
Can I get a name in?
I will just, as a person that has hosted a party or two in my life, that I've never heard a complaint, unless they just don't want to tell me to my face about the food that I've served there.
I mean,
they don't always have it.
That no bean chili dip is the bomb. That's the best.
No bean dip.
I know if he ever comes to any of them that I invite him to.
Well, now wait a second.
And then a good French onion.
Hold on now. I would have came had I known there. So you're saying a no bean dip means there are no beans in it?
Yeah.
It's meat and cheese.
It's like a chili dip.
And sour cream.
It's 3 layers. It's very simple. People that are listening, the masses that are listening, what you do is we get Hormel no bean dip. That's what we call it. So Hormel no beans. It's like a chili. It's not spicy. It's just like ground meat in a can with sauce. But there's no beans in it. You put that. No, you put the cream cheese first, and then it's the Hormel no bean stuff,
and then
put cheddar cheese on top. And you can either nuke it in the microwave, until it's all melted, or you could like pop it in the oven, but like the microwave's faster, and both of them it just doesn't. You just want it so like everything is melted.
It's delicious,
and it is so good.
And then it's beef sauteed with peas and onions,
Yeah.
a layer of ladyfingers.
Yeah.
Oh my
And you put
god.
it hide. That's what we do. Yes, Esther.
Well, but before that, it all sounded great. It sounded like something that was like that I could have on my keto diet. So like that actually sounded great, except for maybe.
Can you eat all of that stuff?
Yeah, that
Sour
sounded
cream?
like without the beans, like sour cream's great. The cheese was great.
it's cream
yeah.
cheese.
Yeah, that's fine.
Cream cheese and cheddar cheese.
Yeah.
It's
I
great.
prefer sharp cheddar. That's the type of cheddar I eat normally. Like when I eat a cheddar type of thing, I like a sharp cheddar.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's actually fantastic. So
Really cook like, I don't know if you can cook, but it's a very easy thing to do. You just spread things in a pie dish.
And melt it.
wait a second. Wait, are you questioning like the co-host of Puff Pastry on whether or not I can
I mean, he
cook?
did successfully make creme brulee, which was rather impressive.
Right?
Thank you,
We were great as.
Katie.
The only thing Katie has never, that's the only thing Katie and you have ever made me. So
Okay, all right. I hear the challenge. That's fine. You know what, Katie?
We
I
gotta
actually
do
have-
another puff pastry soon.
How about this? Let's make some keto-friendly pancakes, okay? Because I have talked about my pancakes. They're delish. I just have to use the right flour, some almond flour, and coconut something, and whatever it's called. I'll look it up, Katie. Don't worry. We'll be fine.
All right.
I remember 3 years ago that we said we were going to have a pancake off, and it's been 3 years. I think someone's afraid
I
because
think you made the pancakes and wouldn't even let you wouldn't even. You were so afraid you wouldn't even let me make pancakes.
I'm not afraid because I know that I'm a better cook.
All right, let's move on here. Marchismo asks, if Katie were a cat, what breed of cat would she be? Katie, you cannot answer.
What'd you say,
That's
Sasa?
I said any and all breed.
Accurate. I had all the breeds at one time.
You're totes an orange tabby.
I love that.
Because they are like orange tabbies all
They're the best.
they're sweet, they're reserved, they're cuddly, and they're cute. And that is Katie and a kitty cat.
Oh, thanks, babe.
I'm a Maine Coon.
Whoa, large and in charge.
What? So I'm gonna go with the.
Ezra's like, wait, there are different types of cats.
Yeah. The only cat that came to mind was the Cheshire cat, right?
Oh.
Nice. I like
Right.
that.
Yes, though.
Ezra's a feral cat.
Oh, boy.
What kind of cats are all of us?
Hmm.
I feel like I'm a Maine Coon.
I'm the kind of cat that's going to knock all your stuff down.
Sarah's a Siamese.
You're a Siamese then.
I also like to lounge in the sun.
I
Do you
don't
like
know
to
cat. So
chit-chat?
I don't
That's
know what kind of cat
Siamese.
I am.
You're loud. You're probably also a Siamese.
Yeah, you guys are the Siamese twin cats.
From Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah.
Do you see that fish?
Ezra is a classic domestic short hair like Iggy.
Yeah.
Oh, is that good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chill and cool.
Thank you, Katie.
You're welcome,
Yes.
Ez.
Because I don't know cats really. Again, just
That's a shame.
Ezra, I can educate you. Don't
I
you
know.
worry.
Hey, I actually like cats though. Like my cat. Growing up was I named her Professor McGonagall.
That's awesome.
That was her name. Yeah. So like legit, I love cat. My first cat was named Goliath. Because I was like 5. Yeah.
Goliath.
Goliath was a she cat though, so whatever.
All right, give me another question.
Courtney, do you think Harry was angry or surprised when everyone walked into Hogsmeade? I mean, Hogshead.
Surprised.
Yeah.
I don't think he was mad.
which
He was
one?
just shocked.
It's a surprise.
He was numbed, I believe is the term that was used.
Yeah.
Shocked.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Agreed.
Jennifer asks, if you owned a wizard tavern, what would you name it and how would you decorate it? This is a cool one. I want to answer this quickly because one of my all-time favorite things that we have done is gone to that bar in New York called The Cauldron.
Yeah.
I loved the name The Cauldron. I loved the atmosphere, how it was decorated. It was literally like I felt like I was in a wizard's pub. Like it was so cool. You literally went and got your beer or cider from like this tree that just like dispensed it magically with a wand. Like it was the coolest experience ever. That literally is the epitome of a wizard tavern to me, and I would just copy them.
Yeah, I agree. Like I like that. You know, I think all of our silverware was different. All like everything like was mismatched, but like still like all had the same feel to it.
And the food was great.
Cool. Yeah, it was a great experience, and I would love to do it again.
Same.
I think I'd call my bar Fozzie's Place. And
No,
everybody
Tiffany,
would
You're
just...
not allowed to talk about Fozzie or dogs. You're not allowed.
I would probably just call it O'Malley's.
What if I wanted to call it O'Malley's?
I'm more of an O'Malley than you are, so...
O'Malley squared.
Mine's gonna be called the Ted Egg.
The Ted Egg. Oh.
Give me another one.
Okay.
Are there any more?
Yes. What would the trios individually bring to a potluck?
Ron would bring a bag of chips because he'd forget.
Mm.
No, you know what he would bring? Something his
Great
mom
move.
made.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Hermione would bring wine, a good bottle of wine.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Harry would
Chips and
buy...
dip.
or he would bring something store-bought.
Yeah.
Yeah, like chips and like
Or
a hell
he
of a
also
good
would bring a
dip.
dish that Molly made.
Yeah.
I love that.
What is that cereal that they have at the tables? Cheery Owls.
Cheery Owls.
He would bring
Oh
a
my
box of
gosh.
Cheery Owls. No. Okay. Jennifer asks, if you had a painting in your tavern that was a secret tunnel to Hogwarts, what would it be of, and how would the tunnel appear?
I'm not allowed to say what it would be of.
Oh, I know. It would be a goat
I got it.
field.
It would be a cat. I got
It
you.
would be a cat. Mine's
I'll
a
say
phoenix. Mine's a phoenix, and you have to take a
Grab
candle
onto it?
over, and you have to blow the candle out, and the fire goes whoosh.
Ooh, I like that.
I want mine to be
I'd probably be... Oh, go ahead, Katie.
I want mine to be a hairy cow from Scotland,
A Harry Coo.
and you have to tickle it.
Mine would probably be this cottage in Ireland that like is a family, like my family's. I don't own it. My family doesn't own it, but like that's our like I've met family there. It would be a picture of that, and you have to knock on the front door for it to open.
I love it.
Nice.
Ezra?
Yeah, I'd probably go with like a knotty pine.
Like naughty, as in like there's knots on it, or like naughty?
Both. That's up to the interpretation. Whoever, you look at the pine tree, you decide. You know what I'm saying? And then.
How do you get through? How do you open up the tunnel?
Well, I haven't got that far yet. Okay, haven't got that far.
Maggie, did you say what yours was?
No, but mine would definitely be a whole litter of kittens.
Do you have to play feathers?
Are you saying this because you and Katie would probably own the tavern together, so it's also Katie's?
Yeah, so you would have to we would have a feather stick hanging on the wall next to the painting. And you would have to shake the feather stick at the kittens. And then once they jumped up and they grabbed it, they would take the feather stick from you, and that would open up a portal
I love that.
to let
That's
you walk
good.
in.
I'm living through you because Tiffany's mean.
I mean, it's fine. I'll totally use it against. I can say cats. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
Ha ha ha.
Isaiah asks, we have two more. Isaiah asks, what do you think of Dumbledore's trust in Mundungus after everything he did, or rather didn't do? For some reason, he seems to still trust him, and I just don't know why.
I say dump the dung.
I think it's because he just like made a mistake, and Dumbledore's not going to trust him with like
something huge.
Yeah, like he's just trying to get. He just gets information from being in the bar, which like if anybody can do that. Like I do that when I'm out with my family. You know what I mean? Like you're listening. You could be listening in on someone else's conversation, or like just because my family is so large, sometimes I'm just listening to their conversations, which like, you know what I mean? They might not realize. That's how I view it, just something simple that he's just there to have a beverage, hide from Aberforth, and just learn some things.
Was it
I just feel like the trust is a little bit damaged, but it's not completely
He's so useful.
severed, because Dung has his own like network of connections that the other people in the Order don't. So it's like in Dumbledore's eyes, he feels it's worth it to give him that chance to keep those connections,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah. And we also know that Dung always has his own agenda with things, and he always sees these situations as how he can benefit from them as well. So being there for the Order is one thing, probably, and then being there for his own agenda is probably another.
Do we know for a fact that he was there for the Order to spy on him, or he just happened to be there because he's Dung and he likes dirty places and drinks?
I think he was... I know that once it's revealed that he was the person that relayed the information over to the Order, but I don't think that he was there specifically for the Order at that time.
Like, we know that he was dressed or disguised as a witch because Aberforth like banned him from the bar.
Yeah.
So I wonder if he just happened to be there and be like good timing, and obviously he's like gonna tell him.
Right. And I feel like we can also say that he wasn't there for the Order because this is 5. He was already given his opportunity at the beginning of the book to be a lookout for Harry, and we all know how that went. Mm. This would not be another opportunity that would be given to him, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
I hear that.
He's just at the right place at the right time.
Yeah, and he did the right thing by relaying that information, in my opinion, I think.
Yeah.
Tattle.
Last question for the episode. Jennifer asks, if you could make a candy that would instantly cool you off on a hot day, what would it be and how would it taste? Have you guys ever had those chocolate ice cubes?
No.
Mm-mm.
So there's this like, I don't know what else is in it, but it's this like melty chocolate, and
it's called like chunky, isn't it?
No, it's called like an ice cube.
Oh, yeah.
But it's like they're individually wrapped, and it's this chocolate that is super melty, but when you put it in your mouth, it instantly feels cool.
Oh.
It's so good. They have them at B.A. Sweetie. I don't remember. Yeah. I used to get them at Packatans as a kid, which is super weird and random, and like nobody else except people in Northeast Ohio probably even know what Packatans is, but it's this craft store that me and my mom used to go to.
I was going to say, are they not even a thing anymore?
My mom and I used to go there all the time, and they would always have them on the registers, and you would just buy them individually for like 20 cents or something like that.
And they were what? Chocolate ice cubes?
Yeah, it's chocolate, but it's called an ice cube. And when you chew it, immediately it feels cool in your mouth. They still sell them at B.A. Sweetie. They're super good.
It's basically a real life Ice Mice.
Kind of. They're really good, but I love them because like chocolate is not a candy that you would ever associate with like a cool feeling, like what am I trying to say?
But like in the freezer, they're cool.
All right,
that's true. But like I correlate chocolate to like warm drinks, like hot chocolate and that kind of stuff. So like to have like a piece of chocolate and have it instantly go cool in your mouth are super delicious. They're just called ice cubes. I don't know what else.
All right,
they're known as. But
they're Albert's chocolate ice cubes. You can get 100 of them for $40.99 on the Amazon.com. Shall we move on?
Full episode.
But they're super good. I don't know if anybody else has any other suggestions, but
no, I want that one.
Highly recommend. I'm gonna get you all some, and I will deliver them.
Awesome.
Hey, just in defense of Katie here, real quick. I want one, but I want mine to taste like cats. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't
Why
know
would
what
you
that tastes.
taste like
I don't
that?
know what that tastes like, but I was trying to think of a way to say cats.
Probably
before the
tastes like
episode
cat
was over.
litter.
Okay.
What if it tastes like sunshine fur?
Ooh,
There we go.
But I like the smell. I don't know about the taste.
You know what that makes me think of? Audrey Stewart Baxter, you taste like sunshine dust.
Oh no.
What is that from?
Oh.
Oh.
I don't know what that's
Horrible.
You don't know what that's from?
Salad
Oh.
fingers.
Salad fingers. I literally can't.
from. Oh,
I
get out
can't.
of here. I'm not talking about salad fingers. Fan story.
All right. Fan story. This one comes from Joe Briding. Okay.
Thanks, Joe.
She says, "Hello, you Bob Apron's mothers. My name is Joe Briding. I am not sorry if this gets long."
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, Joe.
I fell in
Love
love
it.
with your podcast about 2 years ago when I chose to go back to school and had to ride the bus almost every day since my fiance and I have been sharing a car for the last 4 years. You guys made my commute enjoyable. I've been a Potterhead for as long as I can remember. When the first books came out, I was too young to read, so my dad read the first 2 books to me and my brother. My family of 4 represents the 4 houses, just like you guys do. Mom is a Gryffindor, Dad is a Ravenclaw, my brother is a Slytherin, and I'm a Hufflepuff.
That's awesome.
Dad had a bad accident soon after we finished Chamber of Secrets, so he couldn't read us anything after that, so my mom picked up where he left off like a champ. But since I was at the age to start reading more complicated text, my mom had me try to read a chapter a night myself out loud to her. Prisoner of Azkaban is not an easy read for a child. Ever since then, my mom and I have had a very deep connection with the Harry Potter books and frequently debate various topics. This summer, my dad unfortunately passed away. At the time, I hadn't been very active on Swish and Flick support page, but when he passed, I felt compelled to post. I posted a picture of Dad and asked for wands to be raised for my Ravenclaw father, and the community did not disappoint. I was overwhelmed by the outpour of love I got. JK sparked my love for writing, and since before I can even remember. Someday I hope to write a book that maybe even just one kid will love. I used to think, her name is Joe too, so I bet I can write a book. Every time you guys say Dear Joe, I hope that one day that Joe could be me. Well, Dear Joe, here you go. This is all for you. I live and work in Columbus, Ohio, originally from Akron.
Ooh.
I had been
Do you want to hear?
listening-
Hold on. Do you want to hear something about Akron that I think of every single time I see the word? I think of it saying "AK Ron."
AK
And
Ron.
I feel like an idiot every time.
I've been listening to another Potter podcast before I found Swish and Flick, and while it was great, it lacked the humor I so desperately wanted. You 4 have represented everything my family and I have loved about Harry Potter, and I thank you all for giving all of us crazy Potterheads a safe platform for expressing ourselves. I am a Hufflepuff. My wand is 11 inches dogwood with a phoenix core, and my Patronus is a Borzoi.
That's
the
awesome.
the Russian wolfhound. You guys are the best. Thank you for all you do. Joe Briding. P.S. I agree with Tith. What is the deal with Mad Eye's eye?
Yes. Thank you for your support. I appreciate it. But first and foremost, thank you so much for your story. I think I can speak for everyone here when I say we are really sorry for the loss of your father.
Yes.
But what a great memory to have with the connection of Potter and the way your mom stepped up, like you said. That's awesome.
Dear Joe, you're amazing. And I'm talking about you, Joe Briding.
And our community helping you out. Like
that's awesome.
That's what we're all about. So I'm so glad that people in our Swisher support group could help you out.
Yes.
And what's with Mad Eye's eye?
Magical.
We don't have enough time to talk about that today.
Right.
I know we've been talking enough about everything else in the world.
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for your story.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Tell me another joke.
All right. How many Voldemorts does it take to light up a wand? None. He's the Dark Lord.
Oh!
Oh
That's
my
a good
god.
one. That's a good one.
All right. You can find us on social media on Facebook at Swish and Flick Podcast. and also our Facebook group at Swish and Flick Podcast Group. We're on Twitter and Instagram at SwishFlickCast. You can follow your hosts. Myself and Katie are on Twitter and Instagram at the Petras Family. Tiffany is on tiff_swish_flick. Sarah is on Instagram at O'Malley with 3 H's. And Ez, where can they find you?
Over on Twitter, Womprat_2M. Thank you for the opportunity to be on this podcast. You guys are wonderful.
Thank you for joining. So we love doing stories over on Instagram before we go live for our episodes. So make sure that you follow us there and turn on your alerts so that you can join in on the fun. And if you love this podcast as much as we love you and you want to support us and be a part of it, you can join us on Patreon at patreon.com/SwishFlickCast. There you can you can see all the different levels that we have to offer, anywhere from $2 up to $25 a month. And your contributions go to keeping the podcast running. And we thank all of our current patrons from the bottom of our heart.
Yes. Man.
I love
Tiffany,
it.
what you doing, girl?
Oh man, still playing Breath of the Wild. I'm trying not to finish the game so fast, so I'm just like exploring and trying to get more Korok seeds and shrines. So if you play Zelda, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm just kind of extending my play. I finished listening to Half-Blood Prince for like the millionth time. And of course I started Deathly Hallows because it's my favorite. So I'm trying to like piece together connections from there. I've already had an aha moment. So hopefully that sticks around in my brain until, you know, the million years from now when we're doing Deathly Hallows. But yeah, I'm doing bar blend workout. It's awesome. It's tough. And yeah, playing outside, enjoying the really good weather, trying to have some good grilled food lately. What else have I been doing? I took Fozzie to the vet today. He's healthy. He's quality.
Good job, Foz.
You
Yeah.
didn't need the vet to tell you that. Could have told you that.
It was so funny. They brought him. So you have to like sit in your car. You can't like wait in there because of, you know, how things are right now. And she brought him out and she was like, oh my gosh, he was so amazing. He's so good. And I'm like, I know.
Well, let's be honest. Speaking of goats, he is the goat. He is the greatest.
Yeah, if anybody's a goat, it's Fozzie Bear for sure.
Yeah.
And my daughter is gonna have my daughter.
Thank you.
She's a lady. She's gonna have her second birthday next month, and she has shown interest in phonics, which blows my mind. And she knows 3 consonant sounds already. So if you know what I'm talking about and you realize her age, it's crazy.
I'll also say when this comes out, it's her birth month. Her birthday's the end of June.
I'm going to be one of those parents that can't help her kid with their homework because she's so much smarter than I am.
Yeah.
So I guess we're going to get a tutor. And Marty's hot. So
Oh my God.
Sickening.
I love him. Who else wants to talk?
Kate and I have a lot going on right now, but it's a lot of things that we can't necessarily talk about yet. So our life is busy.
Our
We're
life is really
excited.
busy.
There's a lot of things happening, and we're excited for the future. But other than that, I'm still playing Animal Crossing. I'm still obsessed with it literally every day. I'm still trying to get all those hybrid flowers. No success on blue roses or purple pansies or purple tulips. Can't get them.
Purple, come on. We should just like be
I
automatically
know.
attracted to the purple.
Or green mums. What the heck? So, yeah, so my focus is Animal Crossing and fun stuff. So,
Good for you.
I need to find my workout motivation again because it
Yeah.
dropped off a little bit.
I've been texting you.
I know. I really appreciate it. Please don't stop. Because every time I'm like, thank you. I know. I need to. And then just trying to get life together. Trying not to sweat my brains out in our apartment.
I have 1 day left of work.
Yeah.
Ayo.
I had something else I was going to say, and now I can't remember it, but
I always do that for this portion of the podcast.
yeah. I don't remember, but it's okay. Living life.
If you remember, just tell us. Ezra,
Okay.
do you want to talk about what you're doing with your life?
Yeah, I'm gonna put something up here for you guys so you guys can see that. So,
I don't know who that is.
So hold on a second here. I am actually campaigning. So this is an important year. All right, it's 2020, and I am currently. Those of you who can't see this on Skype, I am showing off my pin. Maybe I'll take a picture, post it on Twitter. Again, that's at Womprat_2M.
I think that people are going to be very angry when they see this, Ezra, or here, I should say.
Well, so what this is again, if you wouldn't mind, I mean, it's a big year. Gandalf for president is sort of what I'm pushing. I've been out on the streets. I've been just doing everything I can to kind of make sure that people know this is the wizard that we need right now. Okay, and
I kind of would prefer Hermione.
Yeah,
But, you know,
Hermione.
I
Who's her
understand
running
that.
mate?
Love good.
I understand. Again, it's why this is a democracy, and this is why we vote. Okay, so I'm just here to toss another candidate.
Let's put it out there. Gandalf, or would you rather have Hermione and Lovegood?
Girl
Granger and
power.
Lovegood. Wait,
girl power, baby.
So we'll make
Those
that a poll,
girls don't
right?
need
Sounds
to change
good.
colors to get cool.
Please make this a poll because I am going to send everyone I can over to raid this poll. Okay.
Tiffany, post it. Swish's Twitter.
Who likes to know? Well,
What am I
Gandalf,
posting?
Gandalf, gray or white? Who's running?
Currently, it's Gandalf the White. We have to go Gandalf the White.
Okay, so what am I posting on Twitter?
Who would you rather have for president in 2020? Hermione Granger or Gandalf the White?
Can someone take a picture of this on Twitter, by the way, please? This looks amazing. Just saying, that looks really great.
Get out of here.
Screenshot. Okay.
Anything else you have to say?
No, I just again, thanks. It's I don't really know what I'm doing this weekend. Other than graduation, I've got that going on. But
I talk about your podcast because some people, I'm sure, don't know what podcast you're on. Genuinely.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, sure. I'm on a few. Again, I was just pushing my good friend Gandalf there because I run a Lord of the Rings podcast. It's an unexpected podcast. You can find us wherever you find podcasts. Just type in an unexpected podcast. Run that with my good buddy Lane. I also run a podcast with my buddy Matt. I'm actually trying to get Megan and Katie on here soon, and then I promised them first, Sarah and Tiffany. Okay. That I would have them on Hyperspace.
Hold on, though. I like that you said you have a
Whoa.
podcast. Don't you have several with him?
Yeah, so Hyperspace Hangout, Bend the Knee, Heroes of the Horn, Wheel of Time. Again, if you go to my Twitter, again, you'll find all of that. So
4 podcasts.
technically 5, Tiffany. It's technically 5. Yeah,
What do you mean? How many are you? What are you on?
So an unexpected podcast with Lane. We also have one called Further Up. It is a Narnia podcast where we do a read of that. That one's not on the regular. We just post like whenever we can, whenever we kind of get around to it. So that's fun. And then
Fifth one.
that's the 5th one that you guys weren't kind of get. And then you've got Bend the Knee, a Song of Ice and Fire podcast. This is crazy. It feels crazy when I'm talking about it.
For those
it's crazy.
And then the Game of Thrones. Some people might not know that, even with this whatever else it's called.
Yes, yeah, Game of Thrones, Hyperspace Hangout, which I'm going to have these if they would, join me at some point in time. Lovely ladies on for a few episodes, talk some Star Wars, and then my newest podcast, which is actually right now kind of one of my favorites, and I've told everybody this, like it's called Heroes of the Horn, and it's a Wheel of Time podcast, and I'm super pumped about it. You guys should check that one out. It's actually pretty awesome. So, but I'm the host. So yeah, it's 14 plus books. Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot of books, and they're not small.
No, they're not small. And I'm gonna tell you right now. So I encountered this problem the other day when I was talking. The amount of fandom, like I have Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, Game of Thrones, Wheel of Time, like in my head, talk about this game. It's a little overwhelming, and sometimes I think I'm going crazy. So,
That's fair.
but it's whatever, you know. It's a lot of fun. I just love reading books.
Yeah.
I don't know, kind of a book nerd. So
Nothing
We
wrong
all
with
hate
that.
reading.
I know you guys have only seen the movies, right? This is a movie podcast, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
But,
Movies only.
Never read the books. Hate them. They're dumb.
Who even reads?
everyone's joking here except for Sarah, right? Is that the thing?
I was just saying, like, a lot of times I do say that I don't know how to read, which sometimes, and especially lately, I feel like me reading, I'm like, I don't know what I just read. I think my attention span has just gotten horrible since I've been grown.
That's great.
All right, Sasa, what are you doing?
As of this episode, I have not built anything else yet, but I did just order some stuff to keep my Swish. Hold on, to keep my Swish stuff organized. So when that comes, I will be building another thing. But I'm reading a new book that so far I'm enjoying. I'm 11 chapters in, but there are several chapters. We'll see if I ever finish it. But so far I'm liking it. And that's pretty much it. Working and staying home is all I'm doing. Don't be like me and be outside without sunscreen on, because then you'll either get weird burns or you'll just burn.
Yeah, wear your sunscreen, drink your water. That's what we have to say.
Preach.
Well, E. Kirk, thank you.
No, seriously. Thank you. Literally.
Thanks for popping
And
in.
thanks. Yeah,
So much fun.
it's a lot of fun. The Patreon episode that I was on, that was actually great too. So folks should check that out. That was a lot of fun talking to you guys on there.
I had a good time.
Yeah.
You'll be back. Don't worry.
Well, if I ever come to Cleveland, right? I mean,
Yeah.
When
I
was
mean-
the last time we all saw you? I can't remember.
You're
When was
just
the last
rushed.
time we all saw each other, let alone as like
Right?
We
Jeez.
saw
March?
each other in February.
February?
what?
Yeah. But genuinely, like, I was trying to think, I'm like, when was the last time we hung out with Ezra? And I'm like, I literally
Florida?
can't remember.
I
But
think
no,
Florida.
Sarah and I. Oh, you mean all of us together? I was gonna say
It was
'cause Sarah and I
Florida.
hung out.
You sense Florida?
Yeah.
Well, geez, now we know as his
No.
favorite.
Wait, all of us? Really?
It's been a
I
while,
don't
man.
know, guys. I'm getting old. So here's the thing: puff pastry. Let's get it. Let's make it happen. And
do it.
coming this summer. Or as soon as we're allowed to.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
This was so much fun. Honestly, like this was a good episode.
Agree.
I had a good time.
Poor Bev.
Yes, poor Bev. Let me pull Twitter up real quick. Just
the
so I can
poll.
give you the numbers as of this moment in time. I love this for future people who are listening. I said, who should be president? 5 minutes ago, 27 votes. 89% say Hermione Granger.
Oh yeah.
That
Girl
will
power.
change. Mark my words.
Suck
I
on
don't
that, Gandalf.
Like this type of person, but we have more followers than you.
Listen, our magic is way stronger. Okay.
All right.
It's Hermione. She's pretty powerful.
You shall not pass. Okay.
You know what?
Said to a
Aloha
bell.
Mora. I
Hermione
passed.
was wandlessly, not even saying a word, swoop, and he would have been gone. She would have swept him off his feet like she did Ron.
We
Vanished.
fly on eagles. All right. That's it.
Caw. We fly on hippogriffs, baby.
Ancestrals.
Like Voldemort, he just flies on himself.
You're not wrong about that. Okay. All right. Well, for Eric and Honor, what do we do?
Oh, I'm raising the roof, but I guess I'll click my fingers.
Okay, we'll click snaps for Eric. Okay. All right.
Just say I'm going to click my fingers.
I don't know. Well, that concludes this week's episode. Thank you so much for listening, and don't let the muggles get you down.
Dang straight, Tiffany. Dang straight.
Amazing! Just my voice! For Eric and excellence.
Oh.
For munching more.
For munching more.
We're munching more.
I know you guys don't listen to any of my stuff. I know you guys are into like, I get it. Fine.
Okay, maybe if we all make the OG dial-up sound, it'll work. Very hostile again.
Your podcast? Have we heard you before?
Podcaster or something?
Yeah, but the garbage podcast. So,
Oh my
Right.
goodness.
oh
I
my
prefer
God.
Truly. I don't like Rulies.
Ain't no Rulies when you're drinking Rulies.
Wait, I owe a joke super fast. What happened to Hedwig when Hedwig lost her voice?
I don't know what.
She
You
didn't
get two
give a
hoots.
hoot.